I have never been this scared to start a video because I know I'm gonna fail. Ooh, a message. It's from Mark Crilly. He says, quit being a bitch and get started already. G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza and I am going to try and do the realism challenge today. First off, let me issue a formal apology to anyone who watched my realism challenge last week. It was a prank video. I obviously took the mickey out of iPhone, that was sort of the fun of it. But that being said, there were a whole bunch of people who were disappointed I didn't actually do the realism challenge. Now to make it up to you, I am going to attempt the realism challenge today. I was gonna do something simple like a spoon. Mind you, those reflections wouldn't make it easy. Point is, my specialty is not realism. I haven't done figure drawing classes, I haven't done life drawing classes, I haven't done studies or anything like this, and I am not well versed in the finities of traditional art. That being said, if you're interested in seeing someone do realism challenges really well, go check out Mark Crilly's YouTube channel, and he also has a book by the title of the realism challenge. So seriously, if you're into this sort of stuff, go check out him. But I thought I'd have a bit of fun today and give this a go. So I'm gonna do my absolute best. I'm gonna try and do my watch. I know this is a big first attempt. Like I should start something simple like a crumpled piece of paper, but you know what? That's not interesting. And I know you guys, you would rather watch me fail miserably, but go out all guns blazing. So let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a humble man. I've realized the error of my ways 10 minutes into starting. This is really difficult. Honestly, yeah, the watch was too much. This is such an embarrassing process. I have well and truly been defeated by the watch. There are a few major problems I'm hitting, and one is that if you couldn't tell, the lens of the camera that I'm using is bending the image. So I actually, as you can see, like it's sort of warping it from top to bottom so that the left and right edges are bent. That makes it really difficult, especially because I have to have the camera close to get the realistic details so I can see it on the screen and sort of copy it. So I'm sort of looking up at the screen as I draw so that I can copy what I'm drawing. But yeah, nah, it's too bent, and I also drew it too close to the watch to start off with, so I knew that I couldn't have the shadow added and things like that. Long story short, I have been defeated by the watch, but I'm going to attempt something a little more humble. Oh, you will not best me, sharpener! I will defeat you, just you wait. I mean, I hope I will, otherwise that'd be really embarrassing. I feel like the angle's a bit boring, so I'm actually gonna get some kneadable eraser, put it underneath and position it in such a way that we can see the hole and a little bit more of an interesting angle. This little bastard will not defeat me. Take number 2, wish me luck. Start off by drawing some really light guides and just putting in the basics of the geometry, trying to keep it as close to the same geometry as possible. I did the whole thing watching the screen rather than watching the paper I was drawing on, especially when it came to the tones, and I started off by shading in the darkest areas first to try and sort of color match or tone match, just to make sure I was getting a similar sort of tone. But when it came to the details, I realized how difficult this really was, especially because the texture of the pencils themselves were showing quite strongly on the paper and on the screen, where the sharpener is obviously a very crisp and sharp image. Overall, I was just trying really hard to create a consistent tone, in particular making sure that the contrasts between the highlights and shadows, that I would marry that across. But I couldn't actually get the image as dark as I needed to in some places, so I actually ended up going back quite a bit with fine liners, both to really solidify the dark tone and also to create some crisper details. Wow, that's really difficult. It was fun to try, I gotta say. It really sort of is difficult. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the result of my first actual attempt at the realism challenge. I'm not counting the first watch bit, that was just silly. I'm gonna be honest, my first emotional impression after doing this challenge was that I failed miserably. And I actually completed this challenge on my Twitch channel, and the chat were being very kind and kept saying, no, it looks good, it looks good. But because I'm looking at things so closely, all I'm picking are the flaws and where it's not the same and how the colors aren't matching. But then I realized if I like go all the way back here and I'm like up against the wall, it looks okay. It's not bad. It could be more refined in some areas, it could be a little more matching, but I think as a first ever attempt, I'm okay with this. I'm not proud of it. I know I haven't blown your minds, but I'm okay with it. This was an underwhelming video. It's interesting though, because I actually have learnt a number of things from doing this. One of the major things I learned is that I tried to do this realism challenge with a very small and very straight geometric object. And that's really difficult because not only does the camera pick up all the textures of the pencils, but also all the flaws in the lines and the 3D shape that I'm trying to copy. I feel like maybe if I did something a little more organic and bigger, it would have been easier. Maybe not easier, but just more visually effective. Another thing that I realized in hindsight is there are areas on the actual object, especially the highlights, which are lighter than the paper that I drew on, which means it's going to make it that much harder to create a realistic impression because I can't make the paper brighter in areas, even if I use white paint or white whiteout. Another tricky aspect of it is that it's so tempting to look at the paper as you draw, because that's what really we do when we draw. But the reality is I'm copying something on the screen because I have to copy what the camera sees, not what I see. So that's really difficult. And then the last thing I'll mention is that it's so difficult to not overwork the piece. For example, like here around the edges, that's overstated, and that's just because that's my impression and my natural need to make something feel more solid, when in reality the tone between the actual object and the paper, and a lot of these edges and areas between the sharpener that I drew and the paper are actually almost flat, and there's like barely any difference between the shading of them. So there are things I would do differently if I were to do this again, but if you want to see a master at work when it comes to the realism challenge, once again, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Mark Crilly, who has done many realism challenges on his channel and written a book. In that book, he goes through loads of different examples of the realism challenge from simple to more advanced, and he blows this out of the water. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in that sort of stuff. This isn't my area of expertise, so I hope you're okay. I'm just talking because I feel like I failed. But you know what? Sometimes art is about trying something you've never tried before, even if you know you won't succeed. And I knew I wouldn't fully succeed, but I had fun and I did learn things, and that's all that matters. I hope. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Anyways, that's it for now, and until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for new content every week. If you want to support my work and get some goodies for yourself, head over to my store for archives, ebooks, digital brushes, video courses, and more. If you enjoyed this video, here's a link to another video you might like from this channel. And if you want even more, make sure to check out all my behind the scenes action on my vlog channel, Daily Jazza. Draw with Jazza is proudly sponsored by Adobe. Join the Creative Cloud today and get loads of incredible creative tools like Photoshop, Animate, Premiere Pro, and other apps for your computer or mobile device. That's it for now. Thanks for joining the arty party, and until next time, I'll see you later.